Last week, we launched our stewardship campaign for the 2023 year with the theme, Giving Thanks. And this year, we want to spend some time reflecting a little bit more upon that theme and upon stewardship at St. Athanasios. Our theme, again, was giving thanks, understanding that every good and perfect gift is coming from God, and asking ourselves the question that St. David asked in the Psalms, what can I render unto the Lord for all that he has done to me? And we said we can only truly render thanks, but the way that we do that is by giving back to God the gifts that he's given us, our time, our talent, and our treasure. And so today, to speak on the stewardship of time and how he and some of the particular ministries of this church are a place, an opportunity for us to offer our time back to God as stewardship, I'd like to invite forward Spiro Hountalas to speak to us a little bit about the men's group and the stewardship of time in the ministries that he's participated in.
Well, good morning all, and hopefully everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. I'm here to talk about, as Father had introduced, basically the who, what, where, when, and why of the St. Athanasios men's group. It's basically a new ministry that we had launched officially in October of 2021. But after a few months, prior to that, we had a few months of planning, and this was basically an idea under the guidance of Father Panayotis. And I'll tell you, when he first started talking about that during 2021, I remember he was visiting with my mom before she had passed away, and started talking about his vision of this. It got me all fired up and excited. Like, hey, how do you sign up for this? This kind of thing. So a little over a year, we have accomplished quite a lot that I want to share with you. But first, let me describe to you basically the who and what of the men's group. Who are we? Well, it starts with the word Parea. And for those of you who don't know what the word Parea, it's basically Orthodox brethren who gather together to talk about their values, their ideas, and their philosophies. Our focus is basically based on fellowship, mentoring, and good works. Currently, the men's group is open to anyone over the age of 21. We have 35 or 40 folks actively participating in some of the events that we have occurred between the ages of 24 and 72. I'm going to have a couple asks on this at the end of my little presentation here. Why did we get this thing established? Well, you kind of look at it. You look at other Orthodox churches that you may have visited, including this one. We have the Women's Philoptochos. We have Goya. Of course, we have the college group that's being launched. Young adults are in many parishes, so you kind of think, where does that leave the men? There's kind of a void for us. So that's kind of how it established, how it grew out, and why it was established. Let me talk about also now the when, where, and what have we been doing since we've established. Again, we launched it in October of 2021. Officially, we had a little gathering and get-together. In fact, our first activity was partnering up with the Philoptochos. We had a couple of guys join them when they did the Christmas stocking stuffing at the Aurora Food Pantry last December, and we hope to join them when they do their Easter baskets later this year. We've slowly become the go-to group as the folks that pick up the food that you folks have been generously donating for the food pantry and actually delivering it to the 2 food pantries we serve. Some of the fellowship events that we have had so far, we've had about a half a dozen of them. 2 of them involved the launching of the group itself, as well as the beginning of the new ecclesiastical year that we had this past September. Well, we're guys, so we've had gatherings for NFL playoff events and March Madness that we did in January and March that we hope to continue during this year. Recently, in fact, it was earlier this month, we had a spiritual-based fellowship event focusing on becoming a man of the faith. These are the programs pretty much designed to the guys, but we're going to open this up to the whole community, both the women and the youth as well. One of the things that we're pretty excited about is our focus with the Hesed House. For those of you that don't know about the Hesed House, it is based out of Aurora. It's the second largest homeless shelter in Illinois. And what the men's group has started doing for that as a start in serving them is preparing the food here at the church and delivering it at the Hesed House. And we currently serve about 185 men and women. They're separate shelters, but in the same location for it. But what we've also learned in serving them, there's another focus on that could seem very fulfilling, and that's the family shelter. There's another 50 or so families that are homeless that could also use the food serving. Now, the reason I mention this, that it could be open to both the women and the youth of the community, I've learned, of course, for the women's shelter, women, we'd love to have you join us in serving the women's shelter aspect of it. And as far as the youth goes, there is an opportunity. You could be as young as 12 years old to actually serve the food, as long as, of course, you're with adults. Want to open that up there as we plan for 2023, because we'll be doing this quarterly for 2023 as well. One of the other functions, again, open to the whole community. We've revived the blood drive. And thank you, Mickey and Randy, for leading the charge on that. We had one this past September, and we're also planning it for May and September of 2023, right? May and October, thank you. And you could be as young as how old for donating blood? Okay, great. Again, open to the entire community itself. One thing we hope to do this year is partner up with the family ministries in getting a bike tour going. The Fox Valley area, I guess, has one of the top 10 bike trails in the whole country. One of our participants of the men's group is a bicycle enthusiast. When I told him about the idea of this, he got all excited about it and wants to lead the pack. So hopefully we'll gather with a family ministry sometime in 2023 and do a nice little bike tour as a nice family event. We have a very ambitious program also planned. We already got the date planned, June 9th, in which we're having a fundraiser for the Holy Cross Seminary. We've already got one featured speaker who is a well-known White House correspondent. He's an archon of the Greek Orthodox faith out of Bethesda, Maryland. And we hope to have him as one of our featured speakers. More to come on that, but again, this is going to be open not only to the community of St. Athanasios, but we hope to open this up to the entire metropolis. So, in my short period here, I have two asks. One, man, this is a great opportunity for you to come out and join us in this barea that we have. There's great fellowship involved in this. There's great opportunity to mentoring for some of the younger folks that are out there, and some great activities for bonding and so forth. Women and youth of the community, I encourage you to ask your husbands, your dads, your brothers, and so forth to participate in the men's group, but also we invite you to participate in some of the activities in this. Again, I thank Father Paniotis for having the vision and getting this started. My two colleagues, Nick Diantis and Pete Mitru, we're sort of leading the charge on this. It's continuing to evolve. It's not like we have specific rules, regulations, and so forth. This program is evolving. We're obviously open to brand new ideas. I'll be at church at fellowship if there's any specific questions you have. I'll be glad to take your email address if you'd like to be on the email distribution list for the men's group. We also, for those of you on Facebook, we do have our own Facebook page. It's called Men's Group of St. Athanasios. So thank you very much for your time right now. Time is a very limited resource we all have, and it's a great opportunity to give back to the church. Thank you.
I want to thank Spiro for introducing the men's group, the men's ministry to the parish, and using that as one example of stewardship. This is just a highlight, but there are so many ministries in the church, between the choir, between our youth groups, our Bible studies, any of our Philoptikos, and many other ministries that serve the needs of our community and serve the needs of our parish. When we think about giving to the Lord of our time, we often think about volunteering. We think about one-off things, maybe the festival or something else. But actively participating in a ministry in the life of the church is an act of stewardship. It is using the time that God has given you in a godly way. to build stronger connections with his church, with his people. So this is just one way that St. Athanasios offers an opportunity for us to be good stewards of our time and to give back our time to the Lord. As we conclude today, I ask you to think about what other opportunities are present in your life and in this community, in this church, for you to offer your time as a participant in the ministries and activities of the life of St. Athanasios, and to give thanks through offering the Lord a portion of your day, your week, and all of your time. A few announcements